Sports for Real with Coach O. Don't have a whole lot of time today. I'm kind of running late. But the last couple of days down here in Florida, you walk out the house, you thought you was in another state. Who says it don't get cold in Florida? You know, those old-time funeral directors used to have this joke about having warm hearts, but the chapel was cold. Warm hearts, cold chapel, you know what I mean? Well, that's kind of the way it is when it comes to football coaches sometimes. Sometimes you get the cold chapel, which is the fans and all wanting you to be gone, but the warm hearts of the administrators or owners, they allow you to stick around, such is the case down here in Florida. A couple of weeks ago, Billy Napier pretty much saved his job with the hard play of his players and pulling off a couple of upsets, and the administration decided they wanted him to stick around. Well, part of that reason is because they have a very large buyout. I believe in this case it's like $50 million, and they've already did that a couple of times with the last few coaches that they had, and they didn't want to do that again. So Napier survived, and it helps him that his team has been playing a lot better lately, and they finished off the season with a victory over Florida State, the in-state rival. I believe that gives the Gators 7 wins, which makes them bowl eligible. Won't be the greatest of bowls, but look, with the schedule that they had, which I thought was the toughest in America, and a lot of people agree with that, they did a pretty good job down there in Florida. So he has to come back next year and continue to build on that. Otherwise, if he starts to go backwards, then he's going to be on the hot seat, and I don't think he's going to survive the next time. The other warm heart that they have down here in Florida is over at Florida State. We just mentioned them. They just got beat by the Gators the other day in the rivalry game. Mike Norvell, 2-10. That's the worst record Florida State's had since like 1974, I believe, when they got rid of Darryl Mudra. He only won one game that year, so he didn't last very long. And shortly thereafter, they hired Bobby Bowden. You know, the rest is history with that particular program. But I think the real reason that Norvell has survived because of his huge buyout. Norvell has a $61 million buyout. And that's because he just signed a contract extension last year after going 13-0. Lost his quarterback. They didn't make the playoffs. They got jobbed on that. Then Georgia ran through them with a depleted roster, made them look even worse. So things been going pretty much downhill from there. But on the other side, hi man, how are you, Durgish? I'm fine. Doing great this morning. About to go to work. I just had to come on and say a few comments. But the thing about Florida State, they did make some changes. Norvell fired both his coordinators, and he has since been announced that Gus Malzahn, the head coach at Central Florida, is resigning to become the offensive coordinator at Florida State. Now, even though Florida State's done bad with this transfer portal, they can rebound real quick. So with a guy like Malzahn calling the plays, Florida State could be very interesting, but they have to do a better job of picking players in the transfer portal. Now, it wasn't just them. You take Arizona. They didn't do a very good job, but Arizona State did, and because of that, they changed things around real quick. Jamie Earp says, hi, how you doing, Jamie? I'm trying to stay warm down here in Florida. I woke up this morning, it was 35 degrees, man. I had frost on my car. We don't normally get that kind of weather, and when it does, it don't stay too long. But Malzahn will make a difference. I don't know what all that means. Malzahn will make a difference in Tallahassee, but can they get a quarterback, and can they get some more experienced players in there and do a better job at picking in the portal? Now, you see Colorado, they've done well with what they are approaching to do, and they just signed the so-called #1 quarterback in the nation. I say so-called because just because you do well in this state, you may not do well in the next state, and it may not translate over to college. Buddha says, good, how you doing? I've seen you before, Samik Shaya. Tell me if I'm saying it wrong. Samik Shaya Buddha? I think that's close enough, pretty close, I should say. But I appreciate you chiming in. But Deion has done a good job at Colorado putting that team together through the portal, and he's got good recruits all lined up. But I warn you guys, don't get too excited about Deion, because I'm telling you, I think in my heart, until he proves me wrong, that the only reason he's in this coaching game is for his sons. He's got his sons the way he need them to be. He's got Travis Hunter, who's just like a son. He's on the path to do what he needs to do. There's nothing else for Deion to do. Now, if he wants to stick around a while to try to prove the naysayer wrong, then that'd be the only reason I think he does that. But I really don't think he's going to stay. A lot of people think he's going to go to the Cowboys. I don't know why he won't want to go to the Cowboys. If they fire Jimmy Johnson, they'll fire him. So why would you even put yourself in that position? Secondly, if you've been with your son the whole time, it's unlikely that the Cowboys are going to draft you in the first round to be on their team. So that wouldn't be a good move. Plus, you said that you didn't want to be a NFL coach because of the way that the attitudes are in the NFL, which I can fully understand, and it's going to get worse. So I won't get excited about Deion. But he did get a great year in Colorado. They went 9-3. Due to the tiebreakers, they can't make it to the conference championship game, which is a byproduct of all these large conferences. You don't get the head-to-head matchups or divisional play that you used to have, and that is hurting the level of play, I think, in some instances of getting the best teams on the field. Terrence Love says Shady is going to Oakland. Shedeur? No. A lot of people think he's coming to Jacksonville. A lot of people want him to come to Jacksonville, but I don't know. I really don't know where he's going. But wherever he's going to have a losing record. Now Oakland, they probably could use a quarterback. I don't think they really have anybody there. But they still have Gardner Minshew. Minshew is up and down, and the team is just not fully put together yet. And Shedeur might be a good fit in Oakland, but can he take the pounding? You see the pounding he took last year in the Pac-10, and I don't know if he can take too many more years like that. So we'll see how that shakes out. But last night we saw the 49ers get whipped by Buffalo in the snow, and a lot of Buffalo people think they're going to the Super Bowl. But hold on. You got to beat the Steelers. Now, the Steelers, I know they play up and down to the competition a lot, and they got beat by Cleveland the other week. And when you add the Cowboys and the Colts, that's 3 losses to 3 bad teams. And that should never happen if you call yourself one of the best teams in the league. But in the playoffs, they won't see a Cleveland or Indianapolis. So that bodes well for the Steelers. Joel would say, brother, how you doing? My Ravens got a beat down today by the Eagles. I can't leave my boy Justin Tucker missing extra point field goals, ready to get automatic. Matt Stover back. Well, nobody's been a better kicker than Justin Tucker. And sometimes kickers just go through a slump. But when the game has been on the line, like at Cincinnati, he delivered. And you're going to need him somewhere down the line. But I tell you what, with the tiebreakers and all, you keep on losing these games, you might not make the playoffs, man. And I've been calling you guys the regular season Ravens lovingly because you guys do great in the regular season and you get everybody all excited and you break records and everything else. But when it comes down to the playoffs, we can't get any big completions down the field to be competitive. And until you fix that, then you know what that means. You're going to get eliminated. Shedeur, Oakland Raiders equals revenue runs our world following the money. Yeah. So if you're the Raiders, how much would you pay Shedeur? I mean, they have limited amounts that they can pay picks now. It used to be out of control when you had a lot of guys that never proved themselves were coming out getting these big contracts, but they changed that a few years back. What do the Bills stand for? I said, boy, I love losing Super Bowl. Okay, but you know what? You know what they would tell you, right? At least they've been to the Super Bowl. At least, 4 years in a row? It's been a while. The Raiders went one time since they beat Washington. They lost to Tampa Bay. That's the last time the Raiders went to the Super Bowl. So that's pretty funny, though. Boy, I love losing Super Bowl. I don't think they do, but, I get your point. But that's still a pretty good football team. I appreciate it, Trey Beamer, for subscribing. Normally I talk about college football. I might even rap about high school football. I got some things I need to say about the NIL and the NCAA versus House committee and how it affects walk-ons. And if you watch Georgia Tech and Georgia the other day, the guy that made the play, he was a walk-on. With the way things are going with the roster reduction, there's nobody else going to be there to make those kind of plays. And, with the transfer portal, you don't know what you're going to get. So I think it's a travesty that the walk-ons may go away. All right. Trey Beeman says subscribe. But yeah, a lot of college coaches getting ready to get fired. Down here in Jacksonville, Doug Peterson just lost again, so he's 2-10. A lot of people in the background are talking about Bill Belichick, but then some of the fans are also talking about, what's his name, Ben Johnson up in Detroit. He may be a good fit, but one of the fans also said that the administration is not very good, so it doesn't matter how good the coach is. If he doesn't have the administration behind them, then it doesn't make a difference. And I agree with that. All right, I've been following Lamar Jackson since Louisville. Now I'm not sure Lamar ever is going to get me a Super Bowl. Well, I say about Lamar, he's a great regular season player. When he's running the football, he's good. And when he's got a running game between the tackles, he's even better. But when you have a team like the Steelers, or yesterday with the Eagles, when he can't get loose, then that affects his productivity. And if you notice from the playoff game last year against Kansas City, when he can't do all those things that make him who he is, he starts to tighten up. And the things that he was doing when those things were working, they just aren't the same anymore. So keep an eye on that. Raiders are topping all-time sales. Remember the 90s? Okay. Yeah, because the Ice Cube had something to do with that, and he used to wear Raiders hats all the time, but then he stopped wearing them. Demetrius Sims says Colorado's winning the national championship next year or the following year. Well, they don't have a, what's that alternative basketball tournament? The NAIA, or I forget what they call it. Not the main tournament, but the other tournament. They don't have that in football, so don't expect Colorado to do anything. Deion is building a great program there, but he's not going to stay. I guarantee you he won't stay. And no matter what he says, once his sons are gone, I think he's gone. All right. Detroit is going to the Super Bowl, but the Chiefs are going. Man, how many times do you think the Chiefs are going to get lucky and win these close games, man? Eventually they're going to lose. All right, John talking crazy. I'm from Maryland, Baltimore Colts. I love the 70s Steelers. Chuck knows Steelers. Can't stand the Steelers. Why don't you like the Steelers now, man? Because they keep whipping the Ravens? But my question to you is, how do the people in Baltimore now feel about the Colts? I had a guy tell me 20 years ago, people don't even talk about the Colts in Baltimore anymore. But there are still a whole bunch of Colts fans still in Baltimore. All right, Deion's going to go to the Cowboys. I don't think so. John talking crazy. I didn't get into all that. What's going on, Numbskull? You, what up, gang? What set you represent? Not a gangster because the referee's on Kansas City's side. I don't know about that. I think Mahomes is a future Hall of Famer, and they're going to treat him like that. You think App and the OC keeping their job? The AP and the OC, who are you talking about? Which school, what team you talking about? You're talking about the Raiders. Yeah, he'll keep his job for another year. He may get rid of his coordinators. Hey, bro, my big uncle says, all right. I ain't doing nothing. You guys are talking crazy. Blood, you from Houston? No, I ain't from no Houston. Catalone. I call Antonio Pierce. I think he's going to keep his job, but he'll probably fire some coordinators. The refs always shave yards in favor of the Chiefs. I agree with that. I think that the Chiefs, though, if you keep winning these close games like you are now, I think I would rather win those close games in the playoffs. They'll make the playoffs. They're probably going to get the number 1 seed. But I think it's a time for somebody else to get it. Joe says, all right, I missed it. Yeah, I'm a coach. I do football, baseball, and basketball. I don't know what all that means. I missed your last message there, Joe. You retracted it. I know you said something about the Steelers, but I was asking about how you think that the people in Baltimore now feel about the Colts. Yeah, I'm a Steelers fan. Long time now. I'm sorry to hear that, Miss Cyrus. What's my name? I don't know what your name is. KC is the Patriots of the West Coast. No, I think their time is on the clock. I just don't like the Steelers after the 70s. Yeah, it's a different time because of the way they put teams together. Teams, players be changing teams all the time, so you can't, you take the hit they put on Trevor Lawrence yesterday. These guys are in the same division. Because the team's players keep changing so much, you can't get that revenge. Yeah, those two teams will play again, but that does not mean somebody's going to remember it to the point where they're going to try to get revenge. But if you go back to the 70 Steelers, as you were talking about, then that would be definitely on the table. Somebody's going to come back and get a little revenge. All right, Hafan Haifan. I'm from Libya North. I just need a Bible verse to help my day get better. I don't have one. Unfortunately, NFL is a business and it's hard to keep players. All right, throw the pad. All right, I can't help you with the parlay. I can't win myself, so I wish I could. So until then, I can't tell you. Yeah, it was a dirty hit, but he's playing the game. I think that, shout out from Houston, how you doing, Anthony Brigine? It was a dirty hit, but I think a quarterback shouldn't be exempt from contact like everybody else. He's got the pads on, and I say hit him. You take a guy like Mahomes always running down the line trying to draw a penalty from a guy. The defense, they're in a no-win position, man. So why not take a shot early in the game just to let Patrick Mahomes know you're going to skirt around the sideline. We're going to hit you, man. I know Lawrence took a dirty shot yesterday, but hey, this is football, man. And I tell you another thing, linebackers dream of hitting quarterbacks like that. So keep that in mind. You think I can be a football with you? I knew my coach. No, this is how my old mom was when she died. Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear about your mom dying, but, I can't expound on that anymore. Well, listen, I appreciate you guys popping in. I got to go to work. Probably drop in the morning. If you guys are interested in the comment I'm kicking out, subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll get back with you with more good stuff for the future. But tomorrow I got to talk about this NCAA versus House ruling that is going to have a great impact on college football and the opportunities for people who are on the fringes. That's been there before, and that loophole is now closing, and it's unfortunate. And it also affected me. So anyway, you guys have a great day. Catch you on the next time. But in the meantime, I got to go to work. I'm out.